Happy Friday.
Happy freaking Friday. All right, I'm going to try.
Go ahead.
I said I'm going to try and be excited.
Oh, yes. Because, guys, we fought tooth and nail. We, and as in Monique, fought tooth and nail for this podcast to happen this morning. Because as you can see, it's 11:41, but we made it. We are here. We did our due diligence. Yes.
Yay. Yippee. All right.
Well, happy Friday. Hopefully this podcast episode will get you kind of like up and at 'em, get that enthusiasm back because we're going to talk and complain. And one thing about complaining is you get some passion behind it. Okay. So you definitely are able to just like get that energy up, get it back.
Yeah.
So happy Friday, number one. Number two, so Monique doesn't really follow or pay attention much to social media as far as like celebrities and things that goes on. And I would say I don't, but I guess at this point I do. I see things, I'm just kind of like, okay. And keep my opinions to myself. All right. But I definitely think, I'm not going to say this is new because I don't think this is new. I just think being put under a microscope a little bit more, even though it honestly, I don't think it changes anything, even though it's under a microscope. But I want to talk about how, yes, it's legal as far as dating goes, or like just pursuing someone who is so much younger than you. It's legal, right? Like a 35-year-old person can be with a 19-year-old person. It is legal, but that don't mean we not giving side eye. And what really promote or just influence this episode is that if you guys weren't aware, Shannon Sharp, who is a former NFL player or whatever, he has a podcast, a very successful podcast on YouTube. And there was actually an episode with Monique, the comedian, and she was talking to him and she's like, Shannon, like, why are you messing with these young girls? You are old, you're in your 50s, you messing with 20-year-olds, you can't keep up with them, all these other things. And she was like, you need to get you a Bertha or whatever, whatever, Irma, something. You need to get you
Nancy.
Nancy, Bertha, Irma. You need to get someone that's in their 50s, maybe 45, somebody that is older, instead of these 20-year-old girls who can match your speed. And not just that, who are appropriate for your age, because it's just ridiculous. So she told him that because she was like, you gonna get caught up out here. And so sure enough, 2 months later, this woman comes out trying to expose him, saying how he mistreated her and how they were in this BDSM, or I don't even know all of it, but she was essentially trying to expose him. And come to find out, at this time, this girl was like 19. And you're 50 something,
right, dealing
with a 19-year-old girl. And I say girls very strongly. That is a girl, a young lady. She is not, I'm sorry. And I will say my tangent as we go along. But with that being said, it really got me thinking for the podcast for this week is just because a person in general, it doesn't even have to be dating. Just because a person is over 18, they might legally be grown, but like intellectually speaking, they're a child. We've all at some point, or most of us, God willing, we either make it to 18, 19, or we've been 18 or 19. And I promise you, when you get there, you are not an adult. Like, you don't know how to operate like adults should operate. We're almost 30, and sometimes I question, like, I'm the adult here. Like, I gotta be the adult. So all that ranting for the intro of this podcast is just to talk about like whatever way you want to go with it, whether it's in the dating scene or just like interacting with people in general, or just like 18 and 19 year olds, whatever, that just because you're 18 and 19 does not make you an adult. There are things that adults should know. And if you don't know it, baby, you're not grown. You are not grown. You are not an adult. So let's talk about it.
Funny. One of the funny things that just popped in my head, ironically, is that I find it very funny how, well, it's maybe accurate to what you're saying, because you can start driving at 16, right? That's the age limit. And you can even buy a car usually with your parents' help, but so like that stuff is possible for you to do between the ages of 16 and 18 even, but you are not allowed to rent a car until you're 25. And that is funny, because it happened to me where I was in a position where I needed to rent a car, but I was unable to because I wasn't old enough. And I literally had my own car that I was paying and driving around and all of this stuff. And I just thought it was like funny. I was like, what kind of catch-22 is this? Like, I have my own car. It's literally 3 hours away back home. And you're telling me that I can't rent this car from you? And they looked me dead in my face and was like, oh yeah, that's exactly what we're saying.
Like, I'm not the one making sense here.
Yeah, right? And I do think, because like, just whatever reason, I'm sure they had plenty of 18-year-olds in the past that swooped in to rent cars, and they just did dumb stuff with them. So they deemed it, you know what? You have not reached the threshold to be like mentally adequate enough to be able to rent our car. We don't feel comfortable letting you borrow our car. And even now, I wouldn't let an 18-year-old borrow my car. I would have to think twice. I would have to think about it really, really hard. Be like, do I want this 18-year-old driving my car around the city? It's still probably going to
be a no. It's still probably going to be you know what? You say that. When me and my husband were dating and he graduated from basic training, I had to rent a car, and I met him at 20. I think I was under 25. I think I was like 21, 22. And I rented a car, but it was with Hertz. So Hertz let people under 25 at the time rent cars, but I did have to pay like this extra insurance or whatever, essentially because I was underage. But yeah, even the laws, even though they make it legal as far as the law goes, there are still agencies and other things that's like, okay. You are an adult, right? But you still can't do these things because we don't trust you. Alcohol. You're 20, you're over 18, but you know what?
Yeah.
We can't let you do that. We can't let you rent cars.
Right.
We can't let you, we can't let you purchase alcohol. I don't know, like, probably like, I don't want to say apartment. What else are some things, like, even though you're over 18, it's like you still can't do? I'm going to look that up while we have this conversation. Because I'm curious.
Rent an apartment at 18, I don't know if they, once you're 18, I think they, at that point, they just factor your pay stubs, right? Like how much money you're making at the time. But that would be an interesting one. That's interesting for sure.
Yeah. I'm curious, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, even though, and they even said it like 25, that is because the human brain does not fully mature until 25. And guys who have been 25, you still got a lot of learning to do. Like, you're still not at your prime. So to me, I feel like it's baffling when people are just like, oh, they're 18, like they got it.
Yeah.
They don't.
I kind of have a couple of things to where it's like, not so much I'm not allowed to do it because I'm a certain age, but some things that I was not prepared for at the age where I was doing these things. Because like, to go back to driving, I was driving since I was 16 years old. And one thing I was not prepared for when it comes to driving is what to do when you're in an accident and how much all of the like kerfuffle it is when it comes to insurance and what to do with your car and how to just handle all the emotions of somebody crashing into you. I don't think I was properly prepared for that at all. Because I remember the first time I was in like a bad enough accident to where I was not able to drive my car back home or to the place I had to get it towed. I was in shambles. I was like all over the place. I didn't know what to do. I'm over here calling my mom. My mom is like, well, did you call the police? I'm like, No, I called you because you're my mom. Like, what is the police gonna do? Like, what? I just had so much fluster, like, and like I back then I wasn't even like concerned about like getting the other person's information or
and they
like
take advantage of that.
Yeah,
they surely do.
They absolutely can.
Baby, I don't need my insurance run up. So it's like, oh, that's not nothing but a scratch. Like, we could just exchange information if you need to. And they run their little self off.
They sure do.
They probably even gave you the wrong phone number. You don't know.
Yeah, like you better hope it's a bad enough accident that they can't just take off afterwards, because some folks will just peace on out like it's nobody's business. But yeah, so just like when it comes to preparing yourself for that sort of thing, like, yes, you're 16, you're 18, whatever, you're 17, about to get on the road. Let's just run through a couple of scenarios of what could happen should you get into this, like what you should be thinking, what you should be looking out for. Because I do remember like that moment in time for me. I was very young and somebody had just slammed right into the back of my car, and I was just like trying, like literally like through the tear, because I was just crying. I was like, the only thing I could muster up to do was just cry about the whole situation, because it was so much, you know, like. And then too, startling. There were still cars that were like driving by. Yeah, just, and all of it. I still remember hearing the vroom, like I got out of my car and just like being in the street and having cars drive past you while you should be in your car, but you're not because somebody just ran into the back of you, and you're like, you're raw right now. You're basically raw. I don't know what's happening. Was all over the place, but yeah, was not fully prepared for that. So that might be good to just like run through a little crash course, if you will. You know, you're in an accident. Okay. Check yourself, make sure you're good, make sure you can move all your body parts. Next thing, call the police. As you're calling the police, go ahead and get out of your car and check on the other person. Get their shit, you know, take pictures of their license plate, take pictures of their face. Oh, and guys, I want to add really quickly, as you say that, if you got hit by a government like car, because somebody hit like my car and they were a government operated car, and I think they played dumb, and I didn't know until I talked to my husband, because anyway, he knew stuff about it. But they have a government slip, and you need to take it's in their glove compartment, so they don't have, when you ask for like their registration or whatever or anything, there is a slip that they have in the car, and you take that slip and you fill it out and write down, I guess it's like license plate number or something. At the time I didn't know what that was, and if you don't have the information that I'm offering, then it's like, oh, like what else, what do I ask for? And thankfully mine wasn't like bad. It literally was like, I was in my hoopty. It was already had a mark. Like, it wasn't serious. Right. But what if it could have been? Just because it doesn't look serious cosmetically doesn't mean it didn't mess up your stuff. So if you ever get hit by a governmental car, like, or whatever, because he was in the military actually, so I know that he probably knew, but he was playing on my ignorance. He gave me his number and everything. I think he actually did communicate and respond, so it was him, but he could have easily blocked me, ghost me. I would have never, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the point is, they had this little white slip, and I think it even has like a little like little rope or tassel, so that it kind of like vanilla folder kind of thing, so that you can like whirl it around and close it. But you take that slip, because that is what you need, I guess, to fill out whatever when they say they don't have any information to give you. So just letting you know. So getting their name, getting that slip, taking a picture of that license, and at least going from there, because they're going to try to play you. Yeah, don't get played for the fool. And I think that's what a lot of, like, just going back to the original thing you said about like people dating younger people, I think that's the whole point, you know? I think that's the that's the gimmick, and that, to me, that's what makes it so like disgusting, and just like I see why it's frowned upon. I don't know. I think back to like a lot of the times when I was growing up, and it seemed like older guys were always trying to talk in my ear all the time. And I don't want to say like I fell for it, because all all the people that I ended up messing with, they were maybe like at the most only like 4 years older than I was. So that's not even that bad. The biggest age gap I've ever had was 10 years. So that's the biggest gap. And even then, I feel like it depends on where we are. If you're 30 and your partner is 40, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, right? But then, like I said, like if you're 28, meaning you're almost 30, and you're dating an 18-year-old,
that's
weird. Because listen, I'm 29 and I have been around certain 18-year-olds, or I think about me and where I was, what my mindset was back then, and I don't know if I would want to be around myself like currently as I am now. Maybe Agreed. So, maybe not. I don't know, but I raise an eyebrow every time. You know?
You're not developed enough. And there's actually this thing, guys. It is called the Erikson's developmental theory in psychology, and like what we learn in counseling and all that stuff. And long story short, it talks about the life stages that you were in. When you are 28 and 18, you are in completely different life stages than, like, the older you are, the more, I guess, the broader the life stages, from like 30 to 50, like they're in a specific life stage, 50 to 70 or whatever, like it gets broader. But like, even though it's like, oh, there's a 7-year difference between a 7 and a 14-year-old, a 7-year difference, they operate differently. So a 7 and a 14-year-old, like if you heard that, you'd be like, what here? But if you heard like I'm about to say a 40-year-old and a 47-year-old, it's like, oh, okay, like y'all within the same group. So I agree with you when it comes to younger, smaller or less, I feel like it's kind of better because y'all are within the same developmental like environment. We're working on the same things, like especially with teenagers, that's like identity versus confusion. And then like as you get a little bit older, it's like intimate relationships versus isolation. So like all these things as you get older, it's like find someone within your wheelhouse. And my problem, I feel like, is so like with the Shannon guy, right? The Shannon Sharp guy. You are targeting 20-year-old women. You're 50-some years old. Why can't you find someone your age? Why? Because they see your BS. They see it. Just like half of these, you know, like you said, Monique, when we were younger, and you know, like there are older guys that were targeting you. Why can't you find someone? Because they don't want you, because you're doing something that you have no business, and they can see it. But as young people, the younger people, they can't see what the older person is attempting to do because they're young and they haven't been there yet. There's a power differential. And I have an issue with that. So when I'm just hearing the stuff, and it doesn't even have to be just Shannon, like there's another woman, I think Drea something, but she's like, she's known, like she's been on show like Basketball Wives or whatever, but like she's like 40 something, I think. And she has a 20-year-old boyfriend, like who's a basketball star, and she got pregnant by him. And I'm just like, what? With a 20-year-old boy, like
that's what I was gonna say too, is that I think I always just want to know, I feel like every time there is that big of an age gap, I want to know what your motive is, you know, like what is it that you're after? Because I feel like when older men go for younger women, I think they're either looking for a woman who is like has lower standards, I guess, or just less, you know what I'm saying? As in, like, they're more willing to just go along and go along with whatever it is that you want.
There's a validation piece,
right?
I think it's a validation piece.
And then another one is like, maybe they don't want an old lady because they don't want to feel old themselves. Maybe they want a younger person so they can vicariously through them feel younger themselves. And like, you know, so because like a 45-year-old woman is not going to want to go out and hang out. And if you're an older guy and you want those things, then yeah, you're gonna maybe want to get a younger person to go along with it and all that stuff. It's never money, right? Older men never go for younger women because they have money. But on the contrary, older women will oftentimes go after younger men, like you were talking about the basketball player. And all I can think of is Anthony Edwards, because that's what I've been seeing all over my social media is he has a baby mama or several baby mamas. I don't know. But one of them in particular is like almost in her 40s, so 36 and up. And he's like 18 or whatever the fuck he is, some young ass number. And he's a basketball player. And he literally, like, they got pregnant. So, and he didn't want the baby, right? And then she said, okay, fine. If you give me, I don't know how much it was, $30,000, $40,000, whatever, I will have an abortion, right? And he said, cool, go ahead. So he gave her the money that she asked for, and then she didn't get the abortion. So she took the money and then didn't get the abortion.
I saw something about that.
And then she had the baby, and then she wanted to put him through child support court, right? The child support, and see, because that's her motive. I don't even know if she really likes this guy or whatever, but she sees him as her motive is money. She's after his money, so she's gonna use her JJ to get that money, and that's like a thing, like you were saying, like we see this happen all the time, and I want to say like the boys, because they're boys, should be smarter and see past it, but they can't because they're ignorant. That's the same thing. That same thing why young women fall prey to these older guys the same exact way. You know, it's the same thing. But in his case, they went to court and they settled on a number, right? They settled on a number, and I think basically it was like $5,000 a month. That was the number that the court deemed appropriate. And she took that deal, right? She took the deal. And instead of him paying her $5,000 a month, he paid her the entire lump sum of $5,000 a month every month for 18 years. And he paid her like whatever million dollars all
like,
at
don't
once.
Call me again. Yes. Don't ask me for nothing else. You better make that money stretch.
Yes. So he decided to do it this way. And I guess no one else has ever done this before, because like I said, it was blowing up everywhere. So maybe, and people, I don't know if the lady came out herself, but there's a lot of people that's applauding Anthony for doing it this way. Because a lot of people see it as a way to just keep getting money, because if he does better playing basketball, he'll start earning more money, and then she can take him back to child support court later and, for a refinance,
so to speak.
So she can get even more money out of him. And I don't know if it's true, but I saw a post allegedly from the woman talking about now, after he paid her all the money, now she wants to say, well, $5,000 a month isn't enough to raise a child by myself. I'm going to need more money. The only reason why I took the deal was because I figured in a couple of years I could take him back to court. And I'm like, that's terrible. You're an awful person. Like, that is so crazy to me. And so, yeah, it's just, that is just wild. But it keeps happening.
That is wild.
Yeah, it keeps happening. And he decided, okay, the court said, this is my amount. You got it. I'm going to give you 100% of what the court deemed necessary here and now. And now it's done. Now she can't take him back. Well, I guess not. I don't know how it works. I'm not in child support court. But it seems like it's said and done. Like, she has the money that the court ordered him to pay, and that's it. That's what we agreed upon. You signed the paper, I signed the paper, you got your check, end it here. And now I think she's whining and crying about it after the fact, because she's not gonna get her big paycheck. As if $5,000 a month isn't enough. Because, like,
a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
On top of you potentially working, even if you don't want to work because you are a single parent at this point, like, so, you know, you do have to also care for the child. Yep. $5,000 is, I mean, I don't know. Like here, $5,000 can last you to pay for your household, your utilities, and everything. Like in Virginia,
but that's for us common folks, you see, because celebrities, they're all crazy. All of them are psychopaths. This is exactly why I don't follow celebrities. Like I can't follow millionaires because they're so out of touch with reality that they literally think that they cannot live off of $5,000 a month, which is crazy because you absolutely can, but your means of living are so far askew, like you're so far out of touch that you feel like you need more. And that's just, I can't, like, oh, wah, cry me a fucking river, you know? Like that's how I feel every time I'm like, oh, this singer got caught and this is happening. Don't you feel bad for them? No, they're a fucking bazillionaire. They will be just fine, I'm sure. Like, I don't want to hear about any of their hardships because it's not really a hardship when you're a millionaire. Shut up. Get out of my face. Y'all piss me off with that. Like,
yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's definitely an out of touch piece. And yeah, I am curious also too for that. Like, he paid all of his money up front. Mm-hmm. So you got, like, basically it's like, I'm thinking of it like a car. Like, if I buy my car and they tell me this is how much it is, you don't get to refinance later and be like, hey, like things have changed, the value has went up. No, my rate is locked in. This is how much I owe you. And that's what it is. But it's also a child. So I know things change, but I keep flipping back and forth because I also kind of feel like, first of all, I'm angry that you looked at this child as a paycheck. Because all in all, no matter how much money you get, this child is going to suffer because because he paid the money. It's like, all right, like that's it. Is he intending to be in this child's life? Nope. Because he was saying that I didn't want this child and you decided to move forward anyway. So for your selfish desires, whether it be money or whatever, you have created a space where your child is not going to have their father in their life. That is a very crappy thing, I think, to do, especially when that was your motive, is to get the money from it. It's one thing if things don't work out, people make their decisions, but you knew what it was going to be and you just said, who cares? Like,
on top of the $40,000 or however much money she asked for the abortion, which he agreed to because he said that he didn't want kids. But in all honesty, if you don't want kids, don't have raw sex. I'm sorry, but like that's where we're at. I don't know what it is. Yeah, you can't say you don't want a kid. You can't say no to the booty. Like, you're right.
You can't say no to the booty, huh?
You can't.
It's just that. It's just that.
It's very enticing. Sad, but. And honestly, I don't think this is his first kid. I didn't look it up past this particular scenario, but he might have other baby mamas of the same caliber in the same storyline.
So you don't learn. Yeah, no. But that's what I'm saying. Young people, it takes a lot.
Yeah. They're just,
and I get it now. I remember when I was young and I was like, I'm not stupid. I know things. And the older I get, the more I realize. And they say the older you get, the more you realize that you don't know much of anything. And when you are willing to be a learner, that is truly when you have matured because you realize you don't know everything. Yeah. And but again, woman or man, if there is this big differential, like in age, and that's a preying type of mentality. That's a power differential. Something's wrong. Yeah. It's not okay. Cause you're not, what do y'all have to relate on?
Right.
Just cause you're 18, you're not grown. You need to still learn. You need to still be doing young people things and learning and gaining wisdom and getting better. Also, I looked up another one that you can't. So basically all the cliches, you can't, when you turn 18, you still can't drink alcohol. Mm-hmm. You can't smoke, but people do that anyway, but you can't purchase tobacco actually. Yeah. And then also to renting a car. That was some of the top that you can't do, even though that you're 18. Yeah. But yeah, I would not be giving my Me and my husband joke about it. We were talking about, because we had a Camaro at one point and probably get another one again at some time when these kids grow up. And we were like, oh, like, what? Like, hey, Dad, can I take the car to do da da da? And it's like, no. It's like, I already have it. No, you're not. Until you're out of my house and I can see that you can function on your own, you can't have nothing. I'm like, I don't trust. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
It's a lot. Like my mom was so paranoid she couldn't even teach me how to drive. Like her nerves were too shot to have me behind the wheel and have her try and teach me. So yeah. And also too, I just think like, I don't know, times have changed and generations have changed, and the way we grew up is not the way that kids today have grown up or are growing up. And just as I don't have many experiences dealing with teenagers, it's very rare that I even have to encounter one for like an extended period of time. But most of the time when I do interact with teenagers, it's at a drive-thru or it's at like and it automatically. Yeah, like I said, like it's very rare that I have to be around them for a time period. But also too, when I used to work at an animal hospital, we used to have interns that would, not interns, well, I guess, well, it's more like a summer program thing. So whatever the hell you want to call it. The kids from the high school would sign up. So they signed up to do this. I don't know if their parents forced them or it's for extracurricular activities. I don't know. But even then, in that setting or at the drive-thru or whenever I do have to interact with teenagers, I am oftentimes disappointed by their lack of like energy. Like they're so apathetic, you know, they just don't care. And I don't know, like I remember when I got my first job, I was so eager. I was eager to do good. I was eager to show up on time. I would greet every customer. I would smile. I just remember caring so much about my job and my image and not disappointing my mom and like wanting to do a good job. Nowadays, like when I was working with those high schoolers at my old job, literally like you would have 2 or 3 of them following you around all day. And most of them would just be on their phone. Literally just, and my boss would say, hey, we've got some high school kids that are coming, they're gonna shadow you. You don't really have to do much because they're probably not going to do much either. They're probably just going to follow you around and not do anything. So just deal with that for like 3 days, right? And Jesus. He wasn't wrong. Like that's literally like what they did. They were just literally on their phone, texting, not talking on the phone, but like watching videos or playing little games or whatever. And I remember I went through my first 2 days and I was like, yeah, this is dumb. Like, I don't know what y'all are getting out of this. Cause like,
you're not even learning anything. Your head's this.
And it's like, I would try to like teach them and try to like explain, but the reciprocation was obviously not there. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do my job and y'all just follow me around, I guess, right? And then I had one person, one teenager, one little girl who was like, so why do you do this? And I was like, you have a question? You want to? Oh.
You care?
Well, and I was like, oh, well, let me show. Here, come on, come. Let me show you the machine. Let me. And it was like a literal.
Let me explain.
It was a breath of fresh air to just have one of them that was actually like attentive and she asked one question. Why do you guys do this? And I was like, oh, let me explain to you why.
You want to be fed information.
Yeah. And then I was like, I had her for that half of the day and the next day. And I was so eager once again to like get back to work. I was like, oh, I hope I get this girl again because she is so refreshing. She asked questions, she listened, she's writing stuff down in her little notebook. She
wants to learn.
Yeah, she was like, oh, can I have this? It was like a little vial that we use to put samples in. She was like, can I just have this vial? And I was like, yeah, you want this other one? This one has coagulant in it.
Girl, you my favorite now.
Yeah, I was like, what else do you want? You want some syringes or something to take with you? It was so great. But that's because, and once again, also too, like when you go to drive-through, or if you just deal with the young folk of today. I drive for Lyft now too, and sometimes I get teenagers. I have picked them up from the high school and driven them back home, and some of them are just the most. They don't know how to function in society. No. You know, like they don't say hello, they don't say goodbye, they don't say thank you. They're not professional. They're not like eager to do a good job, and it's a little draining sometimes to be around that. So I don't know, in like a dating setting, I don't know if I could.
How do you even operate? Yeah. Like, how does that even work? I agree with you. I do feel like, because I actually like to work with teenagers, but I think it's within the actual and setting that I'm in. Yeah. I don't think as an employer I would like to deal with teenagers. I don't think if I was like a coworker I would like to deal with teenagers. But I feel like, because as a counselor, like in the community dealing with teenagers, it's almost like we're molding differently. So it's almost like we're getting there. We're working towards that. There is a willingness to get towards it. So therefore, I love working with teenagers in that sense. But when you're out in public and you see like younger people, especially teenagers or like young adults, it's like you look at them, they look at you, good morning. I mean, you're just staring at me like, hi, how you doing? Keeping it moving. Or like they walk into a place like, oh, hello. And it's just kind of like they look at you like a deer in headlights, or they don't know what to do with anything. And I do believe to a certain extent COVID had something to do with that. Mm-hmm. Like I'm about to say, when COVID happened, people still had to, like, parents still had to work while kids were basically at home. Yeah. Whether it be like work from home or, you know, like they would still had to go out in the community. Technology was helping our kids function. And now we're expecting them to detach and get back in the real world when it was basically, I don't know, like a surge of like technology. Everything was virtual. We could communicate virtually. You play games virtually, this virtual stuff where you can create this world virtually, that when they're back in the real world or forced into it, they don't know how to react or respond. Like teenagers that haven't even ordered a pizza for themselves. They don't even like, they look like, oh, I have to make an order. Oh, like, how do I find, whatever. And it's just kind of like, how do you not know these things? But those are the bare basics that they unfortunately did not have the opportunity, whether it was on purpose or an accident or circumstances. Right. And it's just sad. Like, it's just sad. I would not want to work with teenagers. And even though they're not loved right now, but even when I worked at Target years ago, like they were like, even though yes, they could hire 16-year-olds, I knew at my location they did not like to hire 16-year-olds. Like if they saw a 16-year-old pass, like nah, like I don't know if that was discrimination. Technically, they might hire one or two, because I do remember there were a couple, but they really didn't like them because there was no sense of responsibility. Like they would call out, they don't care. They were like, nah, we need people that need to pay their bills so that we know you coming to work. We know you're gonna show up. Yeah. So just like the younger generation, you guys have your own thing. Just like I'm sure our parents were like, oh, this generation of millennials is doing blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But the thing is, when you're young, you're still learning and you are very impressionable, and people take advantage of that. Yeah. So you got to stay safe out here. But when I saw those things like that, dating when you're younger, like younger and older thing, that really just grinds my gears. I don't like it, because it's like, what other than power or validation, what does this relationship provide for you? Yeah, or money. You can find someone, or money. Like, but I feel like that kind of, goes with power, like money. Yeah, you want to feel young. Okay, but I'm pretty sure, like, I see on Facebook and stuff like that, there are people in their 50s still going to the gym and ripping and running, going skydiving. You can find them Bettys out there that are doing those things too. Earl, you can find those people. Don't play.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I never got the appeal, and like I said, I did date someone that was older, and I felt like we had a fine relationship. It was just like the age wasn't the problem, actually. So that's funny enough. And now that I am older, like the funny thing is, the older you go, the older I would stop, because now, me being almost 30, I don't want to date a 40-year-old man, because that, to me, that sounds gross.
Weird.
You know? But
weird.
Yeah, but when I was younger, how old was I? Maybe
you were 18.
18, is that right? About
18
right?
to 19, because it was high school. You were working at McDonald's. Yeah. I remember.
And I'm like,
you moved from mine to them. So I think you were 18 to 19.
It didn't seem weird or gross or anything like that. So I don't know.
No.
And I didn't really
feel weird then, but I guess I'm questioning now, why didn't it feel weird?
I don't know.
If that's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know.
Because I'm looking back, because we met, like I met the person. Yeah. But now I'm looking back, I'm like, we were 18 and it didn't feel awkward.
Nope.
That's kind of weird to me. Like, why were you not, So I guess for me, it's just a no altogether. Because it's like, why do I not feel like you are significantly older than us? If I'm 18, you're 28 or whatever. I feel like there should be a feeling of difference, because I am completely different than the 17 and 18-year-olds that I talk to.
Yeah.
So why is there no feeling of difference here now that I look back? But right. I mean, they were cool. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. It's just like, now I'm looking back, I'm like, why didn't that feel different?
I don't know. And I remember too, for me, it was just like, I mean, I guess for the younger side of it, when you're young, and I mean, I guess for me in particular, I was on my own, right? So for me, when you tell me you put an 18-year-old out into the real world on their own, because my mom was in California and I was out of high school, so I needed to live somewhere. And if I'm dating a person and they say, hey, you want to move in together, and like, you don't, and now all of a sudden it's like, you don't have to pay all the rent by yourself. We can share, we can split it. It's less for you. And now
survival.
You say, instead of paying, back then rent wasn't as expensive as it is now. But if you're saying, instead of paying, $800, you only have to pay $300 a month. And I'm like, wow, that's so cheap. That's crazy. Yeah. Yes. That's a no-brainer. You're gonna help me pay for stuff? Wow, yeah. Let's do it. Like, why not? Why wouldn't I? It's not like I have a house to go back to.
You're looking at the wrong thing.
It's not like I have this or that. So for the survival and for trying to be comfortable and just trying to like live some sort of a normal life with the person you're in a relationship with, I can kind of get that. But also it's very different because it wasn't like a power thing it was different. I don't know. I can't explain it. So I can't talk too much. It didn't last. We ended up breaking up anyway. So it didn't last.
Yeah.
For me, it didn't feel weird. I didn't feel strange. It didn't feel wrong. And I didn't really even notice that we had an age gap that was so drastic. But I was younger then too. So, but now that I'm older, I definitely would not ever go older, but I also wouldn't go younger either. Like both sides.
You gotta be within my wheelhouse.
Yeah. Both sides are not it for me. So
yeah, I think for like, if I had to consider, like, I think after 4 years, that's a little much for me. Like, it's just like, because what, 29? So at this point, you're 29. Yeah, like you're 34,
yeah,
33. Like older than 30. That still makes me cringe and all. Yeah. I'm a 1 to 2 year kind of gal. My husband's only like a year older than me. So I feel like, we're evenly yoked. I mean, I guess because I haven't crossed to the 30 side. So from being here 34, I'm like, ooh, how old are you? You're not that old, but that you're not in my wheelhouse. Like I'm still I'm still baby 20, like, well, I'm not baby 20, I'm baby 30s now.
Yeah.
And you're like almost halfway in 30s.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
I think too, it's like also how you take care of yourself, because some 30-year-olds and up are gross, and then some are not. Like some dudes still
more vibrant.
Yeah, they take care of themselves. They take care. First of all, take care of your damn skin, okay? Because y'all men, for whatever reason,
water.
Y'all don't want to freaking use lotion or moisturizing products. Y'all be out here feet looking like dinosaur feet. Okay, y'all got rhino ass skin, just looking old and nasty and not moisturized. Do yourself a favor. Use lotion. Save your skin. Keep yourself nice and soft and supple and young. And like, yes,
we like it.
Pure water.
We do like it.
Like, I don't want no crusty ass man. Nobody wants a crusty, nasty, you know, like got stuff all in your ears. Don't clean your ears.
Oh
don't
my
clean
God.
your nose. Like, what are we doing? Why are you so okay with having toenails that's so long? Clip your shit. I take AJ to get pedicures.
Your feet looking like dog feet with the long nails.
That boy loves his pedicures. Take care of your feet. Like, you should.
I agree.
Come on now.
And it's what you used to stand. It's so funny that you said that, and I'm not. I'll just say this, but like, yeah, like even my husband, we were talking, and we were saying like, you know, like your feet are important. It's okay to take care of your feet or get pedicures and whatnot. That's how you walk and how you stand.
Yes.
And I even was looking on, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, and it was showing like a male getting a facial, and there were women in the comments basically saying like, you know, that's not feminine. Like there were some men to be like, yo, like that's not feminine, like that's too feminine or whatever. But it was like, but it actually it declogs all the like the gunk that you have in your face, and you could see that his face before and after was a significant difference. And I'm like, I don't feel like it is demasculating for a man to take care of his skin and his face and to not feel like as I rub his cheek. Like I think that makes him like he's taking care of himself. Now I'm not saying like it was literally just cleaning your face and making sure that you're getting like, you know, all the nasty stuff out. So I don't foresee it as being a problem. There's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. So I agree when you talk about like age, are we looking like old and creepy, not taking care of yourself, but like you're still up and vibrant. Yeah. You know?
Just take care of yourself. It's okay. It's perfectly fine
Exactly.
So yeah.
But anywho.
But yeah, I mean I've experienced a few things that I felt like I wasn't prepared for. Even though I was old enough, I don't think I was prepared for some of the things. And when it comes to dating and relationships, I just like to stay in my lane, you know. I'm 28, I'm 29. How old are you? Oh, 29? Great. That's perfect for me. Let's go on from here. Do you like all the things that I like and grew up with as well? Yes, you know my references? That's awesome. Like, that's cool. Yeah.
I agree with you. Yeah, no. I'm about to say I'm within my own wheelhouse, and you know, everybody does what they does, but when you're young, you're so much more impressionable and you're easily taken advantage of. So just recognize that. If you are still young, recognize that you still have a lot of learning to do, and you don't know everything. And we all had to learn that at some point. And the earlier you learn that, the better or easier life is, and the more receptive you are. So
just try to listen to people that are close to you, because they have the best advice to
love for you.
Yeah, they have the most love, which means they really do want you to succeed. So as annoying as mom is, listen to your mom.
She probably knows a thing or two, unless she's really proven she don't know god dang thing.
It's right. It's situational, okay? Just use your best judgment, but also you know who the good is and you know who the bads are. So
correct.
Yes.
And speaking of moms, for the last thing that we'll say for the podcast episodes, happy early Mother's Day to the moms out there. We greatly, greatly appreciate you, because moms, or parents in general, but I'm speaking for moms because it's Mother's Day.
It is.
We make the ultimate sacrifice. So just love on your mom, say thank you to your mom, call your mom, visit your mom. send a virtual hug, whatever it is. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We appreciate you because you make this earth go round. You facilitate the children and people on this earth. So thank you, moms. We appreciate you. Anyway, guys, I know Monique got up to end the podcast, so I just want to say happy Friday. Thanks for joining in with us, and we will see you next Friday. Bye.